I'm Sean Kemp, this is Gary Payton, and this is the 96 version of the Seattle Supersonics.
Wait a minute, why? Never mind, go ahead, let's just roll, man.
I'm the rain man. I'm making rain.
Making rain, okay.
Woo!
Okay.
That's right. Matter of fact, we make it rain so good, we be with Lemon Pepper Lou getting some wings. Woo! He trademarked that, by the way.
Oh, he did?
He trademarked that. I give him credit. He did trademark that. Man. Oh, man. So we have an exciting show today. Of course, sports are still intermediate right now, but we have football that just started. A good game that happened on Thursday night. We also have the playoffs in the NBA. So we'll start with the NBA playoffs and small ball. Small ball.
I mean, you can play. You're tall enough. I mean, hey, you have to be 7 foot. I mean, you 6, whatever.
I'm like, at this point, they need me.
Yeah,
because they need me right now because
you play like Westbrook. I mean, hey,
that's what I'm saying. Don't get me wrong. Honest to God, I love seeing Westbrook and James Harden together. But you actually are playing against men now.
Right.
There's a difference. The Lakers.
That pickup game doesn't work, man. Yeah.
That's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
And what really makes me mad with D'Antoni in this particular situation is you actually have a 7-footer in Tyson Chandler, which is an NBA champion. He's actually a good defensive person. He's on your team. He's on your roster, but you don't even put him in the game. You refuse to change.
It's just for looks, man. It's just like you having a Mercedes and then it's in the yard. You know, you drive your beat up Pinto all year round. Basically, what it is, it's the same concept.
It gotta be, man.
You got 4 cars, and you got 4 cars, and one of them is that one car that you always drive. All of them luxury cars, your Ferrari, the Lamborghini.
Right.
You know, and then you have the, like you said, the Mercedes, and then you have the Pinto. And you drive the Pinto. You know, there's a, even though the gas might be good,
right?
Comfortable, you've driven so long, you drive the Pinto. So, yeah, that's basically what it is. We're looking at.
Man, so I'm looking at, so they're down 3-1, so we already know they're going to close out.
Yeah, game's over tonight, man.
Yeah, it's over
time. Yeah. I don't care what nobody says.
So
LeBron going to put them out in the second quarter.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I don't think LeBron James is getting the credit he deserves.
He's not going to get the credit he deserves.
I know. Somebody brought something to my attention about LeBron James. They said when he was with Cleveland the first time around, he went to the playoffs.
Which go around?
The first time he went to the finals in Cleveland. The first time ever going to the finals.
He got tore up by the whole Spurs team.
Yeah.
LeBron against San Antonio Spurs. Yeah.
Name a person on that team.
On which team?
On that Cleveland team. That averaged over 15 points.
Nobody, really.
Exactly. So what LeBron James did is what Allen Iverson did when he took Philadelphia to the finals.
Right.
They went to the court and was picking people to come be on the team because they didn't need to fill out the roster.
Yeah. Hey, you just talk. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they did.
Hold your hands up. I might throw you the ball if you paid attention.
And to look at it from there where he carried them to now you look at the way he's doing with the Lakers, it's no change. 17 years, you still averaging 26. You're still averaging almost a triple-double. You got arguably the best big man in the game.
Right.
And you got some decent shooters. I mean, J.R. Smith is on his best behavior. I mean, you got some decent people. Do you think that this is their year? Because
who's your Lakers year?
The Lakers, like all out Lakers.
I think it could be anybody's year. To be honest with you.
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you said that because
for the Lakers, they have a very great chance.
All right, because the Clippers now all of a sudden are in a tight battle with Denver, and Jamal Murray is a one-man show. That man, him and Donovan last series, they were dropping 50 on each other like it was the pickup game for real. Like they're playing
I'm not gonna lie to you. I was watching to see who's gonna get started first and who's gonna finish it.
Man, now they're back into it. They won last night against a Clippers team, which I think has not figured who they are yet.
No, they won't until next season.
That's what I'm glad you said that because I don't think they're ready this year. I think next year, same team. I give it. But this year, I don't think that they're that team. And I think even if they get past this, I think the Lakers will win it in 6.
Yeah.
And I do believe that. But you said something interesting because one team in particular right now that is really telling people, hey, this could be our year is the Miami Heat.
It could be. Could be, man.
Jimmy
Look.
Buckets.
That's a bad dude, man. Like, I'm not sure. Like, he just got possessed. Like, he was just waiting his turn. He was like, Dragon Ball Z, Goku was building the way up. This is his moment. He's just, I think.
The hair even looking like Dragon Ball. Like, he's Super Saiyan in his mug.
Man, you look at his face. Like, he barely shaved. He barely cut his hair back.
Yeah, I was looking at him. Like,
he looking scruffy. I mean, look, hey, shave, Jimmy. Jimmy, you can't shave. You can't, clean up.
They got barbers there, man.
Yeah, they got barbershops there. Believe me.
He said, "Bob, I'm taking this." And it's crazy because they sold Miami to him as a 2-year deal.
Right.
It was like, this year's just you may make the playoffs,
right?
But next year we know you're gonna get a star. He said no.
Now, which kind of builds his I don't know what to say, not character, his
aura, his
mystique. Yeah. I mean, he's always been a good player, man, when he came into the league. It's just the thing where I think he'd be like Dick said, Jimmy Buckets. Commercials and the whole movie appearances.
Jimmy B.
He's making moves, man.
What's really crazy, and this is why I say he's a transcendent player.
Right.
And I think he's transcendent. I'm gonna tell you why. Because Miami last year with the same roster barely made the playoffs.
Right.
This year with this roster, now mind you, there's no number 1 draft pick on this team. Right. There's no top 10 draft pick on this team. He's been on a team in Minnesota that had 2 number 1 draft picks, in Philly with 2 top 3 draft picks.
Kind of overrated. Kind of slight.
And he said to both of those teams that they didn't play hard enough.
They don't.
He came to Miami. Now, mind you, one of the co-stars of this team is Hero, and he was drafted late.
Right.
I mean, they got Gordon Dragic, who's on his last leg, but he's looking young out there. I mean, they still got Udonis Haslem on this team.
I thought he quit. I thought he retired.
He on the bench coaching. This team has shown more heart than those 2 teams, and this is why I say he's transcendent, because
it's a reflection of him.
Exactly. You tell me in Philly, like, if you're Joel Embiid, you have to be mad because you're watching this guy with a team that doesn't have your talent.
Right.
And deep in the playoffs. If you're Minnesota, you didn't even make the playoffs. After him, you made it with him, you didn't make it after him.
Of course.
So now you done had to flip one of your players for another one. Now you back in to get another top draft pick.
Right.
So it showed. That's why I said with him, it builds his mystique. On the flip side of it, now that Boston's in it, this hurts Kyrie's, because before Kyrie they were in the same position. With Kyrie, they was in the same. Without Kyrie, they were in the same position.
What, 2 years ago, right? What I tell you, that could happen. Watch. And I'm not saying this is his last chance to play. This is his last opportunity to show that he can be one of those guys.
I hope so.
This is his last shot.
I hope so, because
he's gonna be one of them guys. Them guys that he was here, and then he doing one of these numbers, and he's just average. Because there's gonna be somebody that's gonna play just like him. Some young buck out there gonna come along with the next 4 or 5 years, watch all his film, do all the handles, and in my opinion, because there's always somebody gonna.
So I like what you said, because Boston's in the conference finals again with different point guard. They had Isaiah Thomas, now they with Kemba. So it hurts me to say this. There was nothing special about Kyrie with Boston. They should have won a championship with Kyrie. That means because the team's still the same dynamic, missing 1 or 2 pieces here and there, but you still got the same core young people, and all you did was change point guards. Now you got Kemba, who's in there, came from Charlotte, who was averaging over 20 points. Now he's barely averaging 15, but you're still in the same position. They have a chance to go to the finals.
Right. And they probably will.
And you think they could take Miami?
It's gonna be a tough series. I think it's gonna go 6 or 7 games.
So here it is. So if you think Boston's gonna take them, or they're gonna take them on the backs of that wonderful Duke player called Jason Tatum, woo, Tatum, boom! You gotta say it's a Tatum show. Him and Jaylen Brown is their show.
I like Kemba. Michael Jordan went to North Carolina.
He did play for Michael Jordan, but
Michael's still in Texas.
Yeah, but Michael didn't want to kick out the money. He didn't want to make it rain on Kimba. He could have made it rain.
He's making it rain somewhere else. So let's not.
He probably is making it rain somewhere.
Let's talk about basketball. That was going on in Michael's pockets. Let's
Oh, so he know what the wings taste like down there. Okay, that's what's up. Hey, I'm gonna find out in a couple of weeks. By the way, I'm just saying.
All right,
Terry Crews ain't gonna shut us down.
Right.
But man, but I'm surprised because that says a lot about. And I always say, when you see players on different teams, you start seeing different ways. So last year with Kawhi Leonard, the Raptors were just floating through the playoffs. They wasn't killing games, but they were floating through the playoffs.
Right.
So this year they ran up. Do you think Kawhi would have been that difference maker in Game 7 between them in that Boston series? Like,
yes, they would have won the series.
Okay.
Kawhi would have put them over the top. That's just the thing. It'd be that thing, and that's the thing Kyrie don't understand, that LeBron was. He was that thing that puts you over the top. Like there's LeBron here, then LeBron. Oh, we Game 7. Oh, we about to take it. Type.
Okay.
So I mean, a lot of people. It's easier than it looks than it really is.
Okay.
You know? He makes it look. LeBron made it look easy. Remember I told you that.
Yeah, he does.
He made it look easy.
He does.
You probably feel okay. I can go do this somewhere else. Do the same thing he did here in Boston or here in Brooklyn.
Boston was probably the most talented team Kyrie has ever inherited. Now he's in the Nets. So we're going to talk about the Nets because they did something very interesting that the Raptors did too. And we noticed that happened in football with the Tampa Bay back in the early 2000s.
Right.
So before we get to that, right now, feet to the fire, Boston, Miami, who wins?
Damn. Game 6.
Yeah, I think it's going 6. I do.
6 games. It'd probably be Miami. 7 games. It'd be Boston.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I got Miami in 6.
The thing about it is, they really they really got to come on the first 2 games, Miami, and make it. And I wish they probably will. Either way, they got to really be. It's gonna be strong arm, like 3 out of the 4 games.
All right, that's cool.
Like I said, if it goes a full 3-3, yeah, Boston got what they have to put them over the top.
Okay, so
Minus Tatum.
So yeah, whatever. We don't think. So we're in agreement that the Lakers are coming out the West.
Yeah. I think
Overall, Lakers.
Yeah, I'm the Lakers.
Overall, Lakers. Overall, LeBron James is going to do it.
Because people don't understand, like LeBron is like the ultimate. You know that one piece you had with them, like them little connecting cogs and that connects to everything, that brings everything together. Basically, that's what LeBron is. Like he pretty much is that centerpiece. You know, the other pieces are not saying it's the LA LeBrons, but.
No, it is. I mean, he makes. I mean,
we're like that. He pretty much knows how to bring the pieces together. Like I said, with him,
he's a coach.
Rondo, you know him.
Playoff Rondo, boy.
Yeah, so it makes it interesting because the Clippers don't have the same. They look to Doc. Doc is on the side.
Right. I'm glad you said that.
So, I mean, Doc is an excellent coach.
He is.
And he was a pretty good player as well.
His son's good.
But Doc's a pretty good coach.
Give Austin Rivers his flowers, a.k.a. Duke point guard. Give him his flowers.
And he's about to go home, too.
He is, but LeBron going to send him home. He going to send him home, though.
So he shoot all the threes. He shoot all day.
They're going to rain threes tonight. I believe it's going to be threes. They're going to shoot 63s tonight.
They'll shoot like 100.
That's small ball.
Harden's going to shoot like 40 of them. Westbrook, he was getting the game. He going to shoot like 25. And then obviously he can shoot like 15, 20.
Yeah.
He might just try to go in the shooting contest with 3-point contest with Harden.
Yeah, they probably is. They all go. They just gonna forget the inside interior. They just gonna stand outside and just pass it. Horse.
Box one.
So all right. So now
the Chandler can play there. He can just stand in the middle.
He just be like, I can.
He just got the rebound
and kick it back out.
Yeah.
So the Nets had an interesting hire.
Right.
They hired a overrated point guard, in my opinion, Steve Nash. And when I say overrated, let me preface that by saying I'm not saying he was not good.
Right.
But I don't think he was that player that they said he was. I don't think he deserves no MVPs.
You got to remember you forgot who his coach was the majority of the time. He was there.
Dan Tony, who never won a championship, who burns players down, And even with the teams that Nash was on, he never put them over the top.
I got you.
And now
He had Shaq at one point. Let me stop. He had Amari.
He did have Amari. He had a very good to great Amari, a very skilled big man in Amari, and they had some shooters, and they never reached the pinnacle of the Western Conference.
Right. Well, you got to remember what that team they had with was it Stoudemire, Finley,
Raja Bell,
Quentin Richardson.
Yeah, and Quentin Richardson was a good shooter.
It was a strong team, but remember that year they made that run, they took the team apart.
Right
after that. So it was. I mean, of course they had to pay. They wanted to pay Stoudemire. They wanted to pay him.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean. Besides the point, you have to go ahead and finish. I'm sorry.
No problem.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So no, because all that makes sense because that does go into effect of a play.
Sean Marion.
Yeah, that and Sean, the Matrix, the ugliest shot. But
who do you think has the ugliest shot, Sean Marion or Ball, Alonzo Ball? Who has the ugliest shot?
Rasheed Wallace.
What are you talking about, Rasheed Wallace? He has the highest.
He has the highest percentage.
The highest field goal percentage ever.
But he had the ugly shot to go with that.
I didn't say nothing about Rasheed Wallace. Don't be doing that. Stick to either one or the other.
All right, Sean Marion. Sean Marion has the ugly. He has the ugliest shot. Even after doing free throws, he shoots ugly.
You can't. No, don't do that.
You do realize his shot is.
And you know what? Rasheed got a championship. So
he does. Hey, I can't knock him on that. He shoots like that. Sean Marion shoots like that. By the way, I don't understand, and it goes in.
Okay, but we back on it.
So the Nets hired Steve Nash.
Right.
Now, what a lot of people don't understand, and I do think privilege came into factor in that.
Right.
And
it's a tad.
But here's where I want people to understand. They hired him, but you know what they did in that hire that a lot of people never pay attention to? They actually increased Jacques Vaughn's salary to keep him to make sure that Steve Nash has a good season.
Of course.
Who was the coach? Intermediate coach. Jacques Vaughn.
Right.
Who got them to the playoffs without Kyrie, without Kevin Durant? Jacques Vaughn.
The next year without Kyrie.
I don't.
You're gonna need Jacques Vaughn.
And see, that's my point. They went and got him, but why didn't you just keep the man who actually kept the team together and let him have a run at it? What made Steve Nash, because of his relationship, and this is why I said people don't respect LeBron James enough. LeBron James made sure that he at least got black coaches involved.
Right.
Mike Brown.
Right.
Ty Lue. So when you say Kevin, this was a Kevin Durant sign off, I'm mad at Kyrie because didn't Kyrie make this big deal about equality and all this?
I was thinking about that yesterday.
Hey, on the way here, I'm not even gonna lie to you. On the way here, I thought about that, and I was like, Kyrie, of all people,
the Earth is flat.
You made this big deal. Oh, the NBA shouldn't start and everything. When you had the chance to at least keep your black coach or hire one, Mark Jackson's still out there.
Yeah,
and he was the architect.
Right.
Now all of a sudden you're telling me that Steve Nash, because he shot ball with Kevin Durant, that makes him great, but you made sure to keep Jacques Vaughn. You made sure to keep the man. How do you feel about that hire?
Well, it's questionable in a sense, but the thing is they want to do everything possible to appease, I'm going to say KG.
Yeah.
But I'm saying
Kevin Durant.
KG, yeah. They were doing everything possible to keep him appeased, happy, make him feel like he has say so on the team.
Okay.
As far as who's the coach. Like you said, they didn't go to Kyrie.
No, they didn't. KD. You're right.
But so, and overall, people got to understand that he gave the okay.
He did.
You know, which he could have said, hey, how about you check this person out, check this individual out, and we'll go with that. And hell, let me talk to him. He could have screened him himself. He could have gave a couple of calls. They do it all the time. Hey, you know, if I decided to have you come to this team, how would you involve the team? Blah, blah, blah,
right.
You know, something like that. You know, it could have been done, but he didn't do that. Also, you got to admit, Stephen Nash even said he cut the line as well.
I'm glad you brought that up.
He said he did cut the line, and he said it wasn't necessarily because it's a white privilege choice. It's because of his relationship. He didn't
Right.
admit that.
Right.
So, but like you said, but you did say, you know, always go back to relationships. Now, the thing is, when it comes to that white privilege thing, as a little bit, when you mentioned they raised the salary of the coach, the assistant coach or assistant head coach, I think want to title him, to help out the new head coach. I'll leave it at that.
Okay, because we saw this in football with Tony Dungy.
Right.
They fire him, then Gruden becomes his master when he inherits a team that he built.
Right.
Last year, people don't even realize Toronto was in the playoffs doing good. They fired the coach,
Right.
Dwayne Casey,
Right.
and they make a personnel switch, or player switch rather, when they got Kawhi and trade out DeRozan, and then they go to championship. But it's the same team that was built. So, in other words,
Right.
I think Nick Nurse, is it Nick Nurse?
Yeah,
or is
Nick
it,
Nurse is his name.
All of a sudden, he's getting all these accolades, and I'm like, it's the same team that was built under Dwayne Casey, who built them from nothing
Right.
to where they're at, got them players played, and now you're taking credit. So my thing is,
Or let's look at the other team prior to that too, that they beat.
yeah, see, and that's my point. It's like, that's why I'm mad at Kyrie and Kevin Durant.
Right.
Because you had the opportunity to make the biggest statement ever by saying, we'll keep Jacques Vaughn or we'll go with Mark Jackson or even someone else. I'm not knocking Steve Nash, and
Right.
he has basketball. He was a point guard, and I get that. But he walked into, and this is where I agree with a lot of sports analysts, he walked into the best position you could walk into with two Hall of Famers in their prime.
Right.
You got a point guard, which
You mean
we
one
got.
Hall of Famer?
You got a point guard who is literally the best point guard when he's healthy. You have arguably the best player when he's healthy. And both of them are champions coming to a team that was already in the playoffs.
Right.
2 years in a row without them.
Right.
Same makeup and same everything. So why wouldn't you give the opportunity to the person who had been on the sidelines of that in the beginning? So that's why I say people don't give enough credit to LeBron James, because LeBron James made sure that people got their due.
Right.
Even though Toronto didn't become the head coach of LA, which I think that was smart for LeBron, because it didn't make no sense to keep bringing him along with him.
Right.
But he got an opportunity to be on the Clippers staff, and he's going to be primed for another position. But the problem is he's going to get a position that's going to be like a rebuild.
Right.
And then he's going to be out the league in 2 years because they don't draft well anymore. So I think that's where we should look at when we look at when people say the white privilege is the fact that Steve Nash is walking to a position that they wouldn't give to someone else without no African American without any experience. And the African American that had the experience, they didn't give it to. Jacques Vaughn had the experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Right.
but we'll switch gears because we got. Are you ready for some football? Yes, the Houston Texans faced off against the Kansas City. They locked arms and booed. They in unity. We're in unity, and they got booed.
But did you see the crowd of some of the people? People in the crowd? Keep that in mind. Yeah.
That's all.
But I mean, continue the solidarity. Like I said,
Yeah,
solidarity. Like I said, not everybody's going to agree. Everybody will not agree. Everybody's not going to agree.
Right.
I mean, but nobody's going to want to agree to disagree.
That's true.
At this moment in time, there's still an argument to this point. I mean, to this moment, this instant, that what lives matter. Yeah, the whole, the crazy argument. Oh, all lives matter. And when people, it's always been broken down of what the concept of Black Lives Matter is about, or what they mean. And there's some people of other groups that understand. It's those group of folks that they're never gonna grasp, because they don't see the big picture as a whole. They just see that tunnel vision of
Right.
and they involve themselves in their own personal feelings.
That's true.
Opinion.
I agree with that.
So I mean, it is crazy to see that people booed in such a time, such a moment. Now, mind you, what's going on in this world? You're not being realistic. You're not being realistic. You're living in your own. How you say, your own little bubble.
Right.
Thinking, feeling that the players doing this is as unpatriotic, un-American, and everything. But I think it's a good thing. I think it, and to see the teams come together like that. And the thing is, nobody knew. Everybody was standing arm in arm.
And it wasn't during the national anthem.
It wasn't during the national anthem.
Exactly.
Which and the whole thing people didn't understand was, which it still kills me this day when people say the Kaepernick thing was, he went to a doggone. Was it Special Forces?
Special Forces, Green Beret.
A guy vet now who didn't serve.
Super soldier, I guess.
Yeah, he didn't hurt himself. Then got injured, whatever,
Right.
the whole nine. Broke it down to him and gave his opinion, and he went with the guy's opinion. This is what you should do instead, and that's what he did. So
Tim Tebow, Neil. Just saying. So
look at it,
this is how I look at it. All cancers matter,
Right.
but breast cancer has a month.
right,
Lymphoma,
right,
prostate, brain cancer, lung cancer. So in essence, I can pick and choose what part of the problem I want to attack.
right,
Just like everybody can too.
right.
That's why. But to see them boo is just kind of like, you know what? Those are the ones that are gonna buy the tickets.
Right.
That's who the owners were looking at.
Right.
So
That's who they want to come, and they want hundreds of thousands of those to come to the state.
Exactly. So moving forward in the NFL season, we're going to see this off and on. But one thing I did notice in that game, and I think a lot of people didn't take away, you had two prominent African American quarterbacks. How do you feel about that? Because Patrick Mahomes is coming off of a Super Bowl.
Right.
Watson, who by the way is phenomenal, and I have to take everything. I didn't think he'll transition well into the NFL because of how he got hurt in college, but he's a winner.
Right.
Even though the Texans kind of sabotaged him by trading away the best receiver, stupid, but he still put up numbers in that game. How do you feel about the state of the quarterback position as far as it's looking? Because the best question I want to ask is, Tom Brady gets anything he wants.
Right.
I want Gronk to come out of retirement. Oh, I want Forte. I want this person. I want this person. I want this person. With an African-American quarterback, they tend to strip away weapons and say, win the game. Michael Vick, name some weapons Michael Vick really had. The only coach that really kept black quarterbacks with opportunities to win is actually Andy Reid. He gave Donovan McNabb everything.
Right.
He gave Michael Vick everything. They call that team the Dream Team. They had. But outside that, every other white coach strips away African American quarterbacks' weapons and you have to win the game. And I bring that up because in Kaepernick last year, his team was stripped.
Right.
And it was like, well, you went 2-12, and it's like, who did he have? But you're supposed to win the game, but you beg to make sure Tom Brady gets to include an offensive line.
Right.
Because the reason why I bring it, Texans' offensive line is shaky.
Right.
Why do they do that with African American quarterbacks? Why do they strip us of all the protection, all the weapons, and make sure that the white quarterbacks get everything? White quarterback cry, he gets the moon. We cry, oh, we're a problem child. Why is that?
I think because of the ability of the quarterback, his ability to evade sacks, tackles, his throwing ability, they take that as it makes up for having a not so decent front line, offensive line, if you want to call it. That could be a very good possibility. I don't know. I'm not a coach. That's the only way I can look at it, because you think about it, they try to use that as a way to compensate for certain things.
Okay.
You think about it, Tom Brady's not the fastest quarterback out there. He used to have one of the strongest arms in the league, but now it's maybe half decent than what it used to be. We, like I said, take a lot of things to accountability. I'd rather pay you hundreds of millions of dollars and give you less resources, which they did to Tom Brady also, but even still, they, it kind of like it's like they compensate one thing with another. It's like they'll take your athletic ability and they'll compensate that they'll give you all these classes with special education.
Okay.
Something sort of along those lines. They kind of downplay certain things with, oh, okay, but you strong, you all that, but we'll just go ahead and give you all these other classes where you got to apply yourself as
Right.
much.
Okay.
You know, we ain't got to give you much effort. We'll just, hey, we'll give you the assistance you need, but we're not going to make sure. We'll make sure you push through, but we're not going to make sure. Hey, you'll graduate either on your own or just by luck. You know, something along those lines. That's a better way to explain it. I say it at this moment, but that's a good question. That's what I'm thinking. It's the only way to look at it. Because there's no other. Like I said, I'm not a coach.
Okay.
I can tell you, I've never been a coach.
And the reason why I bring that up, because I was thinking, you know, you go back, you look at some of Michael Vick's highlights, and you really realize that his highlights came because that offensive line broke down.
Yeah, he started,
shoot the ball height. Boom! It was like Michael Vick had to run. If he could not run, Michael Vick would have probably ended his career that first season. Like, his running ability saved his life.
But look at quarterbacks prior to him, like Randall Cunningham.
Yeah.
Doug Williams, like I said, a lot of quarterbacks. Dante Culpepper. You go. What's your guy? He's the assistant coach at Tampa Bay.
Leftwich.
Leftwich.
Brian Leftwich. Yeah.
Same. Like I said, they feel that those abilities that they have can kind of disguise a lot of their shortcomings.
And that's what bothers me, because I see them always getting straight. Like Russell Wilson, if we really look at his career, after they won the Super Bowl, they made sure to strip his defense. They stripped the offense. I mean, Marshawn Lynch wasn't there anymore. They were just stripping people in places, and it's like, go win it.
Right.
You don't do that with Tom Brady.
But the problem with question to Brady, but you got to understand the issue with Russell Wilson is 70 to 80% of the time, he does go out there and win it on his own.
I like the way you brought that. Okay, so you're a prisoner of your success.
In some instances, yeah.
As black quarterbacks, they're pretty much, they seen them in college winning games on their legs and everything. Because Cam Newton won the national championship.
That's right.
Auburn owes him $60 million.
He threw the ball to Carter himself.
He did everything possible to make sure undefeated, won the championship, everything. And now when he goes to the pros, you realize he really hasn't had a good offensive team at some point. I mean, outside of that Super Bowl year, and of course him with Steve Smith throughout some times, he really hasn't had that personnel, and now he's in a situation where he don't have that personnel, and now you're gonna be like, you gotta win it, big boy. And it's like, damn, Tom Brady down in Miami, down in Tampa right now, getting people out of retirement. I mean, Jacksonville cut a running back, and Tom Brady made a phone call, and they got that running back just like that. It's like, I know you get cut on this day, and 2 hours later you belong to Tom Brady.
Yeah, man.
It's like, hey, the black quarterback gets, and what hurts me the most is they get the raw end of the deal, and then all of a sudden, poof, they're out the league in 3 to 5 years. But that's our show. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you to 2xposu.com.
We got another show coming up.
Oh, yeah. Hey, stay tuned. The second show is going to be off the chain. We're out. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Coleman and Taylor. I'm Miles Davis. This is Theodius Monk, and we are about to get it jazzed up today. So a lot of things are going on in the news, by the way, which makes it wonderful for content. We love it. I love it. I love it. And one of the people is my ex-girlfriend, Candace Owens.
Ex-girlfriend, y'all.
Yeah. No, you
claim her, huh?
Yeah, I gotta claim her, man. You know,
she'd just been a one night stand. I wouldn't even tell nobody.
So Candace, a little backstory about Candace Owens is a lot of people. She's been around a lot. She actually had a racist incident happen to her, I think, in high school, as she had to deal with some bullying from Caucasian kids and all that, and then I guess she felt like it didn't go her way, so then she decided to turn Republican, which is nothing wrong with that.
Can't beat them, then join them.
Exactly.
So they beat me some more. I got you.
And you know what? I'm glad you brought that, because we're gonna talk about that.
All right.
So she did that, so then she turned to the other side, which is nothing wrong with. It's nothing wrong with being Republican. It's about being having conversations, no matter which aisle you're on, what side of the aisle you're on. And then she started hanging around Kanye West and everything. And then Kim Kardashian said no, you know, and Kanye West dumped her.
Oh.
Yeah, Kim Kardashian, y'all can say what you want to say, but Kim said no, she's leading you down the wrong path. Because remember, she was heavily with Kanye West, and then all of a sudden Kanye West denounced her publicly.
Right.
And a lot of people didn't understand why, but Kim was like, look, it's not about you being who you are, it's that she's toxic, and I'm not going to have her in my too many hands in this house.
Makes a lot of sense.
So then she started floating around, and so she started, grasping at straws, trying to stay relevant within the Caucasian community, going against the grain with African Americans. So recently, on her last leg, because leading up to this, the Republican National Convention decided not to have her speak. And I'm bringing this part up because I made a statement before: when they're done with you, they're done with you. Once you serve your purpose. If you don't believe me, ask Stacey Dash.
Right.
Dude, we was talking about Stacey Dash in the same light.
Right.
Where's she at now?
Sitting next to Candace Owens on the side of her.
Hey, but Candace Owens,
Crusty ham sandwich.
but you know what
A lot
though?
of mayonnaise on.
I give more respect to Stacey Dash because she gracefully walked out.
Emodi cheese.
She gracefully left, but Candace Owens still holding on. So she calls herself going after Cardi B because Cardi B making some statements that she feels like she should make.
What? Okay. You want me to go ahead and finish what you're saying? Go ahead.
Cardi B made some statements. She had to sit down with Joe Biden. Right. We know who Joe is. We know Two Talking Joe. We know black people up Joe. We know Joe. We know Joe. We know this devil. We also know racist Trump. So we know our devils right now. So don't you don't have to throw it up in our face, Candace. We understand the devils.
Right.
But Cardi B sat down with and she's not. I'm never going to knock a person because I always think that there's room for growth. I just hate the fact that Candace picked Cardi to go after because Cardi B does not know how to say no. She's still ghetto. So she
you know what? That's what they call a soft target. That's what they call a soft target.
That's what I want to talk about.
Soft target.
Because Angela Rye is out there, and she's prime.
She don't want that beat. She don't want that kind of heat. That kind of smoke.
Thank you. Okay, I'm glad because Angela Rye is still she's prime.
If people don't know who she is, they need to check her out. She's very, very intelligent. She's very knowledgeable. She's very she's something. She
wants to smoke.
She wants to smoke. Believe me. Believe me. And the crazy thing is, nobody wants it with her.
Exactly.
Fox hasn't. It's been a while since Fox has to come on.
Yep.
Is anybody? Believe me, she's reaching out. She's letting people know. She makes sure she's being heard. But those same people are looking in direction that, like I said, the soft targets. The targets are easy to get to. Why it makes her, Cardi, a soft target? Well, one, she's well known worldwide.
Yes.
On social media. Two, of course, she's an artist.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever how you want to look at it, she's a musical artist. She's She's in the entertainment arena. She's in the entertainment arena. So one, she's an influencer.
Yes.
That's when people gotta look at she influenced. Three, like she said, goes back to her. She's not the most. And my thing is, she's ghetto, but my thing is, she is to be ghetto or ratchet. She's very well spoken.
That's true.
She knows how to express herself. She knows what she's saying. She's very self aware. Now she's a little rough around the edges. She might need a little refinement, and I think that's also what they're looking at. But the thing is, she knows how to get a point across, and I think, believe me, if she gets coached by Angela Rye, she be something. And that's why I look at it. My own opinion.
That's a dangerous combination, boy.
I mean, it's like I said, it's more like a desperate reach out when you sit there and you pick and choose. Like her, you got this guy that's 6'3", about 225, but you got this guy over here, he's 5'6", about 80 pounds. And you know what I'm saying? You this guy that always has a reputation of being a jerk or whatever, and who you gonna pick the fight with? The guy that outweighs you, outmuscles you, or the little guy over here that can't really fend for himself?
Of course you gonna go for the little guy.
Yeah, you're gonna go for the little guy. It's not necessarily that Cardi is the little guy. It's just the political realm is not her realm.
Exactly.
So you're gonna go pick the fight with a person who feels not gonna put up such a strong fight. That's not as eloquent, that's not as well spoken, may not be as educated.
Right.
They just out there in the public eye. So of course you're going to step to that person, sounding proper, very educated, really very refined, and like I said, goes back to saying she's been put out of the club. So now she's trying to at least be able to look in the window and say, hey, look at me, look what I did. You know, this person that spoke to Joe Biden, hey, I went at her and I was able to get her to come out of character, which is not really out of her character.
That's
so the crazy thing is, and like I said, everything is done for a purpose and it's done for a reason. You know, and crazy thing is, like I said, she's been put out of the club.
Yes.
Now she's trying to get back into the club. You know, like you said, your girl bowed out gracefully. You know, now old girl doesn't see it that way. She's like, no, she feels she deserves more.
Right, because and I'm glad you brought that up, because it's not about Candace Owens, and it's about the good, acceptable black person. Because Candace Owens' argument, because now all of a sudden she's on these Fox News shows, and they're like, yeah, you know what, Cardi B's this way and that way, and it's like, well, who said Cardi B represented us?
Right.
I mean, we both named Angela Rye. We got Maxine Waters.
Right.
AOC, her long name.
Right.
I mean, there's plenty. The representative from Minnesota. I can't remember her name right now. I mean, Kamala Harris. I mean, there's so.
You say Kamala Harris?
I said Kamala. So Kamala Harris. I'm sorry.
Wait for Kamala. I mean,
Miss, I lock us up too, but you know what? I'm just saying there's if you really feel like you want to stand up and fight a battle, why didn't you pick those women? I mean,
because she's not in the weight class.
That's the point, and that's the point. Every black person that stands up, from Terry Crews, Herschel Walker, and his son.
He has a son? Oh.
I want you to listen to his son, and you tell me if he has a son.
Oh, okay.
He has a son, Herschel Walker's son, to Billy Porter, to Candace Owens. They all attack lower class African Americans, and I'm not saying that to be disrespectful, but what I'm saying is you are targeting a certain population within the African Americans to put your foot on their neck, to stand up, to wave at your white masters and say, hey, Terry Crews, they should shut down Magic City. Nigga, you met your wife at Magic City. Come on now, let's keep it real.
His wife at Magic City? Damn. Well, maybe because, they didn't give her a good retirement plan. So that's what it could be. I don't know. Like I said, there might be reasons behind that. I don't know.
Maybe he got rejected at Magic City.
Maybe they burned his lemon pepper Lou wings. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's what happened.
It's just that, that's what I'm noticing with these African Americans.
Maybe they tell him his money ain't green enough. Leave. Go back out of here.
Maybe they made a reference to him looking at Tupac.
Yeah, or maybe it's like, hey, you know what? We don't have men that dance naked.
Yeah, keep your shirt off. Only women dance here. But that's what I'm saying. Because now you have black people standing up and calling Breonna Taylor the trap queen. She's a trap queen now. All of a sudden, she was moving weight.
Right.
She was moving weight.
Right. But you gotta keep it. I mean, and not to get off what we're talking about. It always starts when we like, remember 4 or 5 years ago, I think it was in Milwaukee, when I forgot how many young ladies that were found that were missing for 10 years underneath the basement.
I know what you're talking about.
And the one that escaped, the young white lady that got away to go get help, ran to the black guy. And the black guy said, "Oh, this is the first time in my life that I had a frightened white woman walk up to me and ask me for help." And he called the police and and kept her safe and everything the time being. That they turned around and did a background on that, and instead of speaking on what he did to rescue the other young ladies, they brought forth his past, everything negative about him. He had domestic dispute. He had this. He got arrested for that. He got arrested for that. And it's who made this? It was a thing where they say whenever it comes, and this is a white reporter that says this. Now it's a white. They said every time something occurs and involves a black person being injured, killed, something fatal happens to him, we want to criminalize them.
That's true.
But like, for instance, the young man that called himself assisting the police, it was in Kenosha, with the sniper.
Yes, I know you're talking. Yeah.
Sniper. Now, and mind you, the homeboy shot his shots. Police gave him a high five. Probably escorted him to the car, helped him probably break down the gun, clean it and everything.
Gave him a bottle of water.
Hey, thanks for coming. Sent him on his way. When he finally gets arrested the next day, they want to bring all these good things up about, well, yeah, he was part of the 4-H club. And,
that's how he learned how to shoot.
You know what I'm saying? And
he was dark targets, by the way.
He was in the Boy Scouts of America.
That's how he learned how to hit niggas.
You know what I'm saying?
They train them young, man. They show you videos of them training them young. I'm not being funny. Y'all think it's a game. They trained them young. He knew how to use that weapon. He shot him like a deer and left.
But when it always goes back to that negative connotation of what they want the world to see of us. You know, and like I told you when I came back from previous departure, it's all in how they want the world to see us.
Right.
And it's true, because you get people asking questions like, well, yeah, don't you have 4 baby mamas? Don't you have a criminal record? Don't you have these things? I'm like, well, no, we all don't have criminal records.
I know.
No, we all don't have 4 baby mamas. We might have 2.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 2. You know, and maybe 4 kids, maybe 5.
Exactly.
You know. I mean, criminal record, you know, a few misdemeanors here and there, a few bad parking tickets, something, but it's all in how they want to be perceived. And like I said, this goes back to